This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailing to Reaction. I recently learned about 6 hours ago Netflix released a teaser trailer for Zack Snyder's upcoming Army of the Dead. And I've always considered Snyder a fascinating director because he is not very good at what he does, yet he manages to be successful, which again is fascinating. It's also really irritating, frankly, but it's also fascinating. Though, let's be clear about something. Zack Snyder definitely has a very interesting visual aesthetic. The way he puts things on screen, the way they look, is no doubt interesting. He has a great visual sense, but that's the problem, you see. Zack Snyder is not a cinematographer, in which case the visual aesthetic would be enough. He is a director, and therefore that's a problem. Now, another problem is that he can't tell a story to save his life. This is a problem because that is what directors do. In fact, I think a lot of people misunderstand what a director does. A director is more like a manager in the sense that they provide the vision and the direction of a particular production. They do not do everything. They can't do everything. Well, yes, they can, though there are some directors who are also cinematographers and writers as well, and producers even. But a movie production is a big thing, and no one director can do it all. Therefore, you have other people there to do certain tasks. Cinematographers, costume designers, production designers, so on and so forth. But the director manages all that, and they are done to they are done to specifications that he agrees upon to achieve a certain look. So the director is very important. But as I said, Zack Snyder cannot tell a story very well. It's really odd because he seems to have a career based on falling upward, which is to say, his inability to tell a story cohesively and engagingly is not unnoticed, I would suspect, by most people. And if it is, it's because they don't care to notice. Though, I find it frustrating to watch his work. It's not that it's bad, it actually looks very interesting. Though, anytime it's required of him to tell a cohesive, engaging story, he more than likely fails. There are exceptions. For instance, his remake of George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. Not a bad movie. Sure, it introduced the stupid idea of running zombies, which is dumb and irritates me so much. But it's not a bad movie in and of itself. Though leave him to his own devices, you get things like Sucker Punch, which is virtually unwatchable. I've tried, and I might try again someday. But the last time I did, it was just so weird, and not in a good way. Just nonsensical, and just not a good experience at all. His tenure as the driving force behind the DCEU is similar. Visually, as in what you see on the screen, it tended to look fine. But when it came down to some actual story and the motivations for people doing what they did, you know, the stuff that makes up a movie, it failed. Most of the work he tends to be closely involved with does not work very well because, as I said, he cannot tell a story to save his life. And if that weren't bad enough, apparently he believes in the nonsense spread by Ayn Rand, the person who wrote books like The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged. Nonsense. Her whole philosophy is bankrupt, and something that typically 16-year-old males typically fall into, understand that it's ludicrous, and get out of. Apparently not Zack Snyder, though. He is working on a movie based upon Ayn Rand's Fountainhead. Something no one wants, that I'm aware of, certainly. So I don't think much of Snyder as a director, if it's not at all apparent. Though, let's take a look at his trailer for Army of the Dead. It's a great looking movie. Don't remind me.
That's heavy, brother. But I dig it.
Well, that was the teaser trailer for Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. And notice that in the credits, he's listed as one of the writers. And that's a bad sign because, as I mentioned, Zack Snyder does not know how to tell a story. Not one anyone would want to watch in any case. I will watch it because zombies, and why not? Though, let's just say my hopes are really low. Which is to say, the bar is not lying on the ground, it's literally under the ground. If this movie manages to at least be engaging and entertaining, I'll probably like it. Though, going into it, as I said, I expect very little. So conversely, it's going to take not much to satisfy me. Though, what do you think? This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trail into Reaction. Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know down below. And as usual, consider a like or a follow. Peace.